Hello and welcome to the loony left, woolly thinking of wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, liberal lizards and stuff, ivory towers. We're just listening to the BBC transmitting their hatred and evil towards the hard-working, honest people like Ian Duncan Smith, and they told us to say this.
Let's start with the NHS.
Yeah, okay. This is the serious moment for this week, isn't it? I mean, the NHS, they're talking about striking because of the ridiculous stuff with Jeremy Hunt and about his complete inability to communicate with anybody ever. He just tells them, well, you're broke. So for the first time ever, this has never happened. The NHS workers have never striked. It's a big deal.
The junior doctors have never been asked to ballot on a strike. There was an 11th hour offer, which wasn't an offer, which didn't actually change anything. It was going to give them an 11% increase while reducing their overtime pay by 33% or something like that. And it didn't go down very well because he released the offer to the media and didn't even release it to the BMA. So the BMA, who are the union involved, learned of this through the media, which is a bit, it suggests something slightly cynical there. Trying to manage public opinion against the junior doctors. Now, this is quite important. Because I've noticed a lot of comments this week on this. A lot of nurses are posting saying, "Oh, we're next. Yeah, we're next." So it seems like this is quite an important battle.
It is
to win.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It was a strange moment on Question Time where I found myself agreeing with Peter Hitchens.
Yeah.
Even Peter Hitchens agrees with. Obviously, Peter Hitchens is a really interesting character, and I used to hate him. I used to hate his guts, mostly because he didn't like people in Monty Python. That was the main reason I hated his guts. But he's an incredibly intelligent person who uses logical argument, but he's ultimately driven by belief. That's the problem. It's his religion drives what he believes and what he has to argue for and all that. That's why I don't agree with him, and that's why he ends up at a completely different position I do.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. But he said, that Jeremy Hunt is a waste of time. He doesn't believe in striking, as you'd expect. But he says, well, what are they going to do? What should happen is Jeremy Hunt should be got rid of because he can't communicate with the people who work in the department he's supposed to be running.
There is a sense that the Tories cannot lose in this situation. If they completely balls this up, which it looks like they are, and the NHS gets into an even bigger crisis in the sense that morale is down and doctors are not joining the NHS or they're leaving in droves, then they will use that as an excuse to further privatise the NHS, which we all know they're itching to do.
Yeah.
So it does feel kind of a little bit hopeless in the sense that the junior doctors could go away and they could win. They could strike. They could get a lot of public sympathy. And I suspect that they do get a lot of sympathy from the public.
You would assume.
Which would force the government to sort of reevaluate. But in the long term, the end result could be quite dire.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could end up with a privatised health system.
It might be the plan.
It could be the plan.
I was also not impressed with Chukka Umuna on Question Time, and neither was members of the panel and the audience. And that this is the thing. Sometimes I think maybe the plan is that Jeremy Corbyn's going to be there, but then he's going to go, and they're going to bring in Chukka Umuna as this. Da-da. But he's just as wishy-washy as the rest of them, isn't he? And, he just said, something like, I don't know, I believe in their right to strike, but they shouldn't strike. But it's okay for them to strike, don't strike. Just sitting on the fence, completely, no information, no decision, nothing.
Yeah. Well, we're in quite strange territory, really. I mean, for the past 15 years, Labour, particularly front benchers, have been quite keen to distance themselves from union and union action.
Yeah.
Because it's obviously unpopular with the public.
Yeah.
Whereas we have a leadership of the Labour Party who's quite happy to say, no, I agree with them 100%, they should strike. Although I don't believe Jeremy Corbyn has actually come out and said that. But
don't know what he said.
Yeah, he's been quite honest. I'm surprised David Cameron didn't drill him on it at Question Time, actually.
Well, Cameron's completely lost at Question Time now. Because there's a man asking him questions. Not playing the game at all, just asking him questions. And he's running out of places to run, really, isn't it?
The big thing this week was Jeremy Corbyn started. He goes, I asked you 6 times last week and you couldn't get an answer. Now you've had a week to think about it. Can you give us an answer?
Yeah, and he just blah 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 something socialists.
And then he went on to the NHL. I think Jeremy Corbyn should have asked him 6 times again, just to underline the fact that we're not getting any answers from Cameron. And Cameron doesn't feel like he should answer.
Yeah, and that's a genuine thing. He was picked up by Mike, wasn't he? That he was saying it's getting longer and longer. These public asking me questions. I'm the Prime Minister, you know.
Part of that is Jeremy Corbyn waiting for the Tory MPs to quieten down before he asks his question, which I have a lot of sympathy for. Why would you put up with that kind of... It's incredibly disrespectful. And that. So if David Cameron wants a shorter PMQs, he's got to tell his MPs to stop being such
disrespectful. What a good idea. A strange alien idea. Things get done by going brr and shouting at people when they come up with ideas you don't like. Anyway, we've got a new segment now, haven't we?
Yeah.
New section of the show. It's called Sneering Lefties.
Yeah, like us.
Yeah, so in this new segment we're going to be reading out things members of the public have said, honest, hard-working people, members of the public, what they've said, and laughing at them. That's our plan. Basically, I read an article in the Huffington Post, and there was some great comments from Britain First type people and that kind of thing about they're talking about how people who come into the country should learn English. So the first one is, in order to claim benefit in England, be English would be better. I thought that was great. And no, don't come here and claim benefit, speak or no speak, job or out. So there's lots of things like that. I thought they were just excellent. So obviously these people haven't learned English. But in a completely different thing, I think this was an article about... It was clickbait to a certain extent. And it was about Britain First posting stuff about... What's his name? Is it Lee Rigby?
Yeah, Lee Rigby.
Lee Rigby's family have asked Britain First, do not post stuff about him. It's really disrespectful to the memory of this guy who died, etc., etc. And obviously Britain First response is to do it more, and more people talk about it, and etc. That's what this article in the Huffington Post was talking about. That, so that's a good thing or not was part of the discussion. But then we had this post from this guy. There is overwhelming evidence, including BBC's own documentary evidence, that a conscious stand against immigration must be made, and any initiatives that portray the cause of sovereign people must again all media odds be displayed. And I am sure Lee Kelly's family would approve of the anxieties that are felt among the nation's people public ? He even got the apostrophe right for Lee Kelly's family. But who is Lee Kelly? What is he talking about? And part of me thought, is that a parody? Is someone just trolling? And it's the kind of thing I would do. Sometimes I try and do things like that, but it carried on in the comments, and I don't think it is. It's a genuine, real human being, sort of, or some close approximation.
Yeah, I mean, Britain First are pretty underhanded, actually. They seem to be piggybacking this whole poppy...
They do every year, don't they?
Thing.
And UKIP do as well.
It's ridiculous. I think it's a very underhand...
Yeah, it was absolutely disgusting, isn't it, really? Yeah. You think what it represents, and etc., etc.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was Sneering Lefties. So the Lords, obviously last week we talked about the Lords, and it was a strange thing where the Lords were useful, in that they were obviously overpowering. Although the main purpose of the Lords is supposed to stop Labour legislation getting through.
That's not quite true, is it?
I think it is. But when it happens with Tories doing it, there is uproar, isn't there? And the Tories think, well, we'll have to stop the Lords then. I mean, actually, you go back to the hunting ban, and the Lords did veto it, and Tony Blair just said, did it anyway. So fair enough, But in this case, obviously, they've vetoed something that seemed like they were good, but then apparently they were having this debate about tax credits, and Lord Farmer stood up and started talking about something different. And in fact, it was his obsession with pornography and anal sex in particular. While they were debating tax credits, he changed the subject. This is more important. The dangers of anal sex. And young people doing this stuff, and he's not getting anywhere with it. It's not fair, etc. Such a stereotype. I thought we'd moved on from these people, this repressed...
So what was he suggesting? We should have more public awareness of anal sex and...
I'm not sure.
Education in school, maybe?
I think his main gist was that he should be able to know everyone's internet history. He said, well, some people may think that that's no one's business, but I should be able to see everyone's pornography history. Can we talk about Ben Carson?
Yeah.
I like Ben Carson. I think he's lots of fun. He's not going to be president. It's just too ridiculous. I'm sure that's been said before, but you know, we talked about him a few weeks ago, didn't we? About his bizarre use of bits of science and then blah 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 something else. But he's been talking about the pyramids, ancient pyramids of Giza, which apparently were built by Joseph. I don't know which Joseph. I'm assuming he means Joseph, Jesus' dad. Who isn't Jesus' dad? I don't know. And that actually he built them to store grain in, on his own. The pyramids of Giza. This man not only wants to be the president, has a potential to be the president, has support from a proportion of the population. Is he just trolling them? It's like Donald Trump, isn't it? Is it just trolling? Really?
Really, the Republican Party in America are a really scary bunch. I mean, you look at some of the people that have got actual power.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, our Tories are actually, they're just con artists, aren't they? They're just your bog standard rip-off merchants who want to nickel your stuff.
Yeah.
The Republicans are batshit, proper cuckoo land lunatics who have been able to believe this all sorts of nonsense and through huge amounts of money, and they're obviously protected by the country they live in being so successful. Otherwise, that would never have happened.
Yeah, I mean, the American thing is sort of... it sounds like the press are 100% behind Hillary in terms of the Democratic race, and everyone's like, with regards to the Republicans, I think it is largely irrelevant. I don't think the Republicans have got a hope in hell's chance unless something serious changes in the next election.
Yeah, are they going to push forward some random suit who's a bit bland on the Republican side, and that would, and you know, Hillary's not popular to a lot of people. That could be enough, just a bland Republican, because they're all completely batshit nutters. No, I mean, there is no way Ben Carson could win against most Democratic nominees.
I thought
Trump is a big question mark, though.
Yeah, I mean, you just think, some of these people. I mean, Bill Hicks said it. You know, you've had fundamentalist Christians in the White House with their finger on the button. That's quite a scary thought.
And it turns out, it was in the news, wasn't it, that Dick Cheney, the things he was pushing for were much more extreme than he did some had investigations put into how many nukes will we need to nuke the whole of Iraq, kind of thing. Stuff like that. And count the nukes. How many? Well, we need 19 to do that. You know, so maybe George Bush was actually keeping him down a bit.
Yeah. Who knows? Yeah. Have we got anything else to talk about? Bank of England?
Yeah. This is quite recent news. I think the governor of the Bank of England, Mervin King,
former governor,
he blames the cuts on the bank bailouts. What a strange thing to say. What is he talking about? That's what no one should say, really, isn't it? That's what you're not supposed to say in the media.
Well, it's blaringly obvious. That's why it doesn't get any coverage when someone actually comes out and says it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it hasn't had very little coverage.
Very...
You have to blame immigrants and Muslims and scroungers.
Everyone, yeah.
And Jeremy Corbyn.
Of course. Hashtag.
So, enjoy your weekend.
Yeah.
As we return to our ivory tower and look down
on the little people.
The little people who've worked hard to make this country great, and we just sneer.
Yeah.
That's all we do.
Yeah.
See you next time!